Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Kevin Porman. I'm a developer advocate here at Salesforce, and today we're going to be picking up where we left off and dealing with some Sales Cloud objects and manipulating Sales Cloud entities. Just curious where everybody's tuning in from today. I see somebody said in the chat, these codeLive sessions are awesome. Thank you. That's the kind of feedback that warms my heart. We're going to be working where we left off with price book entries and price books and products and opportunities and opportunity products. And just as a refresher, our opportunity products are a junction object between a product and an opportunity, and they show up as opportunity line items. And so we're going to be working today in order to make that interface a little bit easier. Now, I've got my Scratch org set up here mostly. I say mostly because I'm having difficulty. I've been pushing source code to this for 28 minutes now. So, I feel your pain if you've ever felt that. But we're going to go into the sales stuff, and let's just kind of look at what we got here. So a new Scratch org, I wouldn't expect there to be any opportunities other than the ones that we created as part of creating the Scratch org. And if we go in here, we can look at Scarlet Macaw, and you'll see that one of the things we have over here is this related products list. We don't have anything. We can choose to add a product from the price book if we have one, but we don't have anything in there yet. One of the things we had to do last time was create this bit of work to create price book entries so that we can create products and so on and so forth. And we've got this in a Scratch bit of Apex. So one of the things that I'm going to do here is I'm going to, recreate this. I'm going to undo that. So we're going to create a price book. We're going to create a product or two. And then we're going to create this one, and our product ID, price book for entry, is going to be pricebook.id, and the product to ID is going to be our product.id, and okay, there we go. And then we've got this ID, because we were upserting these, but I'm going to do an insert now so that we don't need to mess with that. Get rid of those. Get rid of that. Okay, so our second price book ID here is going to be pricebook.id, and our product 2 is going to be product2.id. Very creative in our naming here. And then we're going to insert a list of price book entries for those two things. I guess we should insert the products. That's probably a good call. And then we're going to get rid of this, because that's what we were working on last week with creating those things. And I'm gonna just save this real quick, and then look, it formatted it for me. That's unexpectedly nice. I'm gonna cancel this push because I feel like it's just not going to work after half an hour. Okay, so we've got this set up. We can create this. Let's run this. Execute anonymous with editor contents. No whammies. Oh, drat. Okay. System DML exception. Insert failed. First exception on row 0. Standard price not defined. Before creating a custom price, create a standard price. So instead of creating a price book 2, let's go look at what our price books are. So we'll go back to our org, and I'm going to go into the dev console. Now I could do this in Visual Studio Code. I guess this is just, it feels more visual to me. So I'm going to go down here and do the query editor. I'm going to do select ID name from price book 2. Boom. Okay, so we have the standard price book, and its ID is this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy this name, and I'm going to say the price book is not equal to this new bit. I'm going to get rid of this, and I'll put in a query here. So select ID from price book to where name equals, boom, and Bob's your uncle. Save that. Formatted it for us. Lovely. Now let's run this. Execute anonymous. Oh no, it failed to run again. Extension output sales... What? Mart row. I honestly don't know what that error means. I've never seen it before. Let's try that again. Okay, that seemed to have worked. There we go. That was weird. Alright. So now if we go back over here, out of the dev console, if we were to go and reload this, just to make sure everything gets picked up. While we're reloading, let's check in the comments. Oh, Amber is here. Hello, Amber. Good to see you here. Good to see Shrivansh from India. Where in India? India is a big place. And then Pablo is saying, I'm building an LWC to import an Excel and parse it to Sales Cloud objects. What a coincidence. Great. If you have questions, comments, or snide remarks, Pablo, hit me up. We'll be sure to try and address them. Kashagra says, I have a question. Is this the only workaround in order to use a custom price book in Apex, querying an existing price book instead of creating it? No, you can create a custom price book, Kashagra, but if you create a custom price book and try to put a product price book entry record in place that has a specified price, if it's not in the standard price book, you get that error. So rather than having to create my price book entries twice, once for the standard price book and once for my custom price book, for the purposes of this, just getting us data in here that we can play with today, I wanted to just go ahead and drop them in the standard price book. So I queried instead of creating. But that's a great question. Now that we've reloaded our page here, I'm going to go and look at what happens here when I say add product. And we'll go to none. I don't know why that's showing as none. Oh, you know what? I bet you the price book is not active. We will look. Price book. Product. Products. Products. Product settings. Okay, that's not what I was looking for. Price. If we go over here and we do this, price book, price books, recently viewed. Let's create a new, no, I don't want to create a new price book. I want to create a new list view, all. Everyone can see it. Save that. Okay, we have our standard price book. It is not active. There we go. And so I'm going to do edit this. And we're going to just open that up. We're going to make this active. Save. All right. Try that again. Nope. Back and we'll go to our opportunities. So as someone who did mostly Service Cloud stuff growing up in the Salesforce ecosystem, some of this like activating the standard price book seems a little weird to me, but it's probably because I don't have a lot of experience with doing dedicated Sales Cloud stuff. I did, for whatever reason, I almost ended up entirely in Service Cloud stuff. So we'll look at this. Here we go. We've got that. We've put the, see if we can do this again. Add product. Okay, so we have products listed. We have the price book here, but we have no products listed. And I'm guessing that's because when we created our products, we did not mark it as active. And we didn't say use standard price. So let's do this. True. And let's rerun this. Do we have to mark them as active too? Let's look at our let's do products. Products. Do. Phenomena. New. All. Everyone can see it. Okay, we've got our products there. If we look at this one, they're not active. So let's go ahead and say is active equals true. Oh, look at that. I love it when the autocomplete is a little too happy. There we go. Save it. Let's run this. Uh-oh, failed to run. Duplicate value, product with this SKU already exists. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna do this. This is one of my favorite things to do with Anonymous Apex. It's living dangerously. I wouldn't do it in production. Delete, and then I'm gonna give it a query. Select ID from product to all of them. Now we'll run this. Execute anonymous. No. Remember last week I started operantly conditioning myself where if I got it right, I would give myself an M&M. I am doing great on my weight loss plan. So let's see. First exception on row 0. Field integrity exception. Insert failed. Field integrity exception. Why is it a field integrity exception? So we're deleting from the product. Then we're creating 2 new products. We're inserting the new products. We're creating new product ID. And then this one is it failed on the product entry. Field integrity exception. Okay. Let's just do these. Execute anonymous currently selected text. Failed. Can't delete active products. Oh, Amber, thank you. I guess I could upsert them, right? I guess we could... Well, upsert would require the ID, and I don't have that. Let's do this. Let's find our products. Products. Mascot stickers, that's the one we made active. Uh-oh, it's not active. It's probably price books. Haha. Price books. Standard price book. Standard price book. Nope. Let's do price book entries. Entry. Nothing. Because this is the standard price book. And I want to go in here and say that my price book entry, let's look at the related ones. Standard price book, let's go in here. This is active, so let's edit this. Inactive, save. Let's try that. And then what we'll do is we'll come down here and we'll say price book dot is active is equal to true, and we'll do update price book. Try this all at once. Row. Field integrity exception. Okay, so let's see. Use get standard price book method to create. Yeah, get standard price book method would, you know, for those of you who are curious what he means by that, get standard price book method. Get standard price book ID, I believe is the actual method name. Price book gets standard in the Apex class. So this is a Stack Overflow question, so let's make sure that this is sensible. And they've got a, it's only available in the test context, if I remember correctly. And this shows me that there. So get standard price book is going to show you, I mean, they're just running a query. which is basically what we're doing. So I don't think that'll work like we wanted it to, but that's a great idea, Avros. This is still showing me I've got some price book entries. Let's do this. Developer console. I'm reasoning about through these things. Let's go to query editor, select ID name from price book entry. I should also do is active. Okay. Is active true. There's a whole bunch of these. And look at this. These two are not listed. So let's go ahead and delete this row. And delete this row. So not only do we need to delete from product 2, we also need to delete, actually let's do this first. Delete select ID from price book entry where name is not equal to and is active equals true. Okay. We'll save. So far we've gotten really far on our building of an LWC component to do this, but we'll keep trying. Execute. Failed to run. Okay, let's see. Field integrity exception on the insert of the new price book entry objects. Okay, so it's not liking this somehow. Why not? This is curious. The thing that we did was change this use standard price to true. And we set that to true instead of false. But with our only one price book, we may not need to do that. I'd be surprised because that's not a very intuitive error message, but let's just go ahead and try it. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what it was. It works now. So that's intuitive. Yeah. Okay. So now if we go back to our opportunities and go to Scarlet Macaw here, now we should be able to add products. And here we go. We've got some tower stickers and mascot stickers, which is great. Now we have data that we can play with as we build our Lightning Web Component. Now, what I want to see in general here, I'm going to just create a little notes file. I want to see a list, maybe, of products that are available with an image and maybe and I definitely want with maybe an image, and definitely I want to see an add to op button. Yeah, so that's vaguely what I'm thinking here. Let's go ahead and create a new LWC component. So create Lightning Web Component. This is going to be our product picker. And we'll put it in default LWC directory. Okay. So as I think about a product picker, there's some things that I know I'm going to want. So I'm definitely going to want the opportunity ID. And so let's think about this here. I'm going to move those classes down. I'm going to look at my opportunity product picker. Some of these for some reason I'm looking at the wrong view. Okay, so we've got our product picker here. We've got some other ones of these. I want to make sure that I'm seeing one that only shows up on a record view display. And I don't know that I have one of those yet. So what's this IDs utils? Do I remember what this is? Oh, yeah, okay. It's Lightning Data Service stuff. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look here at one of my, because I can never remember. When you look at them, you see the, is exposed. That one's easy enough to remember. But I can't remember how to make something look at just on record pages. So what I'll do is I'll say LWC available on record pages, and we'll hit that. And here we go. This is another Stack Overflow one, so I always want to stop and make sure that it's sane. I prefer links to documentations here, but this looks, I've got the target Lightning record page. I always forget if it's 1_ or 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this, target configs, and put over here, and say boom target. They're just saying target config. It should just be target. We'll do target. Do objects account. This is going to be opportunity. Good, but it is the record page. Let's see if that saves and parses, etc. Pushing. Now remember earlier today when I was trying to push things, it was not happy with me. It took forever and a day to try and push because we get all these conflicts, but if I try to do a push and override conflicts, it just sits there forever. So this could be a fun codeLive episode where we can't actually save anything, but we're going to try and make it work. And I think actually what I wanted to say is this. Target, maybe? Let's try and find the targets added. Configuration file tags. I love it when they provide a link to the relevant documentation. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay, so API version blah is exposed. Yes, targets. So we have targets, and then we have individual target underneath it. So let's do targets. And that's not quite right. So I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to say underneath there. Let's look at this. I want supports a target subtag. So let's do target. And that's Lightning app page. I want this to actually be Lightning record page. So I'll put this here. And then I'm going to get rid of this because I don't think that's right. That's our target here. And then let's see if we can specify an object. Target config is what's going to let us choose the object, maybe. Target config. Page types and different component properties. Yeah, I don't care about that part. I just want one target. And how do I specify the filter? Objects. There we go. So it's the objects and then object. Okay, so that makes sense. So I'm going to get rid of this because I don't need it anymore. And then I'm going to put this in here. Boom, maybe. Okay, oh look, let's see if this saves now. All right. Saving. Failing. Scrolling. Okay. Target. Component configuration file is exposed. Configuration file elements. Let's look at maybe I've got a different one here. Product picker. Nope. Oh, that's the one we're working on. Oh, look at that. Look what I was doing. I was putting in the wrong one. Definitely no M&Ms on that one. Okay, we'll fix that. And then we'll come over here to this one, and I'm going to make this true. Yep, and then I'm going to do this here. And objects. This would let it for any Lightning record page. This is just not objects. One of the following is expected. Target configs, error indicated by with code. Again, intuitive error message there. Okay, so one of the following is capabilities description master label target configs. You know what? For right now, we're just going to make it work everywhere. And I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to come over here and say push override conflicts. Hopefully that will return in an easily viewable amount of time. Now, one of the things we want to be able to do here is grab the opportunity ID. So if we go back to our product picker JS, let's do a @API record ID. It'll give us the, oh, you know what? We need to import API. Love it when I get to make errors go away. So we'll get the record API, and this should be an opportunity ID once we fix the permissions for this component. And I'm going to get yelled at for having a comment that's too long, so I'll do this. Okay, so we've got our API, our record ID. That'll be auto-populated for us. And then I'm probably going to want to find all of my products. So let's do this. Let's create an Apex class. And we're going to do product picker controller. And I'm going to put it in a custom directory. It's going to live in my Sales Cloud recipes. Public with sharing, that's right. I don't want a constructor right now. I'm going to say at Aura enabled caching equals true. Okay, and I'm going to do public list product2 get products. Now, this is kind of a naive implementation of this because, I mean, you don't want to return 4,000 products here. There's a maximum you can return, and you may not get all your products. But for the purposes of demonstrating how you would go about engineering this, I think this will work fine. So I'm going to do select ID. We'll get that automatically. So I'll do name of the product, and I'll do let's do this. Let's make a complex return object. We're going to cross object query by saying, give me the name of the product to.name and the list price. Oh, it's cacheable equals true. Good call. Thank you from the comment section there. List price from price book entry where, let's go with is active equals true. So the price book entry is true, and the product to name is not null, and product to dot is active equals true. Let's see. So price book entry is true, the product name is true, the price book activity is null, and let's limit this to our standard price book. So let's go back to our scratch org over here. Remember up here where we said where this, let's just copy pasta that. Product picker controller. Oh, by the way, did this save finally? Look at that. There we go. Yay. M&M for me. Okay, so let's grab this. Price book 2 is there, and the price book 2 and price book dot ID equals price book ID. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to hit save and let it magically reformat everything. Live on that. Look at this. It wants me to validate my CRUD permissions. Yes, I should. List price on price book entry. Okay, so our standard price book, let's do this. Let's do our developer console. I just want to describe the object, and developer console is really handy for that. I want to go to open, and I'm going to go to object. It's going to load there, price book entry. And here are all my fields on price book. So I don't have a list price, but because I'm thinking of unit price. So let's go back over here and we'll say where the unit price. There we go. So we're going to get the name, the product, the unit price and the name from the product. Let's also get, before I forget, product2.id. Yeah. Saving. Row. Didn't understand relationship price book in the field path. So price book entry is, oh, it's because it's price book 2 ID. Okay, fine. Price book 2 ID and product 2 should be fine. Saving that. Row. Illegal conversion from price book entry to product 2. Huh? On line 9. Price book entry is what I'm querying. And, oh, that's because I said product 2 up here. Let's do price book entry. There we go. See, I'm doing good on not eating M&Ms. Okay, so we've stubbed out a controller with a particular getProducts method. So if we go back over to our product picker.js, we can now import that. And for those of us who never remember how to import things, let's go look at like our registered, this one. That one apparently is not got one there. Formatted recipe display, we'll look at this. And yeah, so we get recipe code from, this is the way we import an Apex class. And I'll just paste that there. Now I don't want get recipe code, I want get products. And then I'm going to do Salesforce Apex, and I called my class product picker controller, and it's get products. And I see somebody's chiming in on the chat. Somebody says return type. Oh, yes, there may be a delay there in this. Let's see. Okay, now I've got get product there. It's not been used, so I get a warning. LWC failed to resolve product picker controller dot get products. Product picker controller. Did I spell that right? Yep, get products. Get products. Okay, that should work fine. Because that did save, yes. Please add ... Why would I want, that's not, I think that's what I want. Let's look at our, close that file slowly. Product picker.js is still not liking that. Oh, it's, Now it's just not liking because I'm not using it. Okay, let's look here. Must be static and in. Oh yeah, you're right. Public, static. Happier now? Now I'm curious. If we go into our products and we look at, if we open up products, and I want to see if I can attach a file to this. So mascot figures related. I don't think I can. Interestingly, that's not showing as active. I thought our little script made that active. Price book. So we're not going to be able to directly relate those to a file, which is sad. That makes me sad. Okay, so everything is saved just fine. What I would like to do is then show a list of those products that we're going to call. So I'm going to, no, I gotta leave that comment there, at wire get products, and I'm going to put this into our products. Okay, now, yeah, I save that here. And if we look at our meta, I've added this to true. It's on record pages. So we should be able to come over here and go to our opportunities. And we'll pick a record page, Scarlet Macaw. And then we will go in here and edit the page. And our component should show up. We should be able to drag it on the page. It's not going to do anything yet, but I need to debug it a little bit, I think. Maybe. Don't show this again. Thank you. Go away. All right. Here's our product picker. I'm going to drag that up here. It's going to make me do it again because of the whole thing. It's a whole. There we go. Thank you. And there's our product picker. And I think that's great. Just for right now, that's all we need it to do. And I'm going to save this. Activate. Make it the org default. Oh, I gotta do that again. I forgot to hit a button. There you go. I feel like the activation thing is there to just make sure you're paying attention. Like, did you click all the buttons in the right order? All right, so we've got this here. Now what I want to do is save, and then I'm going to go back, if I can hit the right button. And what we'll do is we've got nothing showing up there. That's exactly what I expect. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to inspect this. And as it turns out, my inspection is going to show up not where I want it. Now it'll show up where I want it. And I'm going to be able to drag this over, make this a little bit smaller. Now, when I'm inspecting it, there's this really cool thing I can do. I can go to Sources, and I can open up my Lightning component, my module C. Here's my product picker JavaScript controller. And let's go ahead and pretty print that so we can make sense of what's going on. And we've got some, here's our product adapter. And what I'm going to do is, this is our constant function. And I'm going to look for, I'm just going to put a breakpoint right. It won't let me put a breakpoint right there. Put it, where can I put this breakpoint? We'll do right there. Fine. Now, if I go back over here and I reload this page again, I fully expect to hit a breakpoint. Great. And at this point, I may or may not have products. Okay, this dot products. Undefined. Okay, so I don't have it yet. Let's go in here and put a few more breakpoints in just for grins and giggles so that we can, hit different things. Boom. Okay, we're in another function. Let's look at this dot products. Okay, still undefined. Here we go. Still undefined. Okay, now we're in a constructor. This could be interesting. Record ID. Okay, well. Okay. So now, if I do this dot, for instance, record ID, it's still undefined. Okay. We'll hit next. There we go. Now we've done our wire adapter. So this dot products, still undefined. This is not looking good, Kevin. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go into our HTML for the product picker, and we're going to say template if is true, and we're going to say products is that, I can never remember those little bits, so let's look at the formatted recipe template, and this is, oh, it's just if colon true. Okay, there we go. And then we'll say, let's just do template. Nope, not template. Template. Okay, and we're going to do for each. I don't want to quote, I want to do products. Now, I'm thinking I've got something else that I've forgotten to do here, so let's verify whether or not I'm crazy. Whoop. Just get rid of that one. Thank you. And I do need that. Autocomplete, you're driving me crazy today. Template for each, and I don't remember how to, if that's correct, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and look at what are things I've previously done. So formatted recipe display. Do I have a for each in here? Each. Nope. And so what I'll do is I'll look in recipe tree view. That's likely. No, because I'm using a tree view. Okay. So when all else fails, we can go look at the documentation. So Salesforce LWC for each. Not what I wanted. JavaScript for each render lists. Lightning component library. There we go. Yeah, so we got for each, for item. Okay. So let's do this. For each products, and then for each item product. And then we have to do something with the key. And we have to give it the list item, and the key is going to be the ID. So let's just go ahead and do this. And we'll do that. And we'll say product name, because that's all we care about here, just to get something visual on the screen. So we'll have a line item. We're going to do a unordered list, and okay, save that. I'm feeling good about this. Feeling like I might get an M&M out of this. Okay, that's saved. So if we go back over here to our Scarlet Macaw, we still got our breakpoints in here, so this is going to be a little ugly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and turn off breakpoints. But to do that, I have to make it wider again. There we go. And reload this. Yeah, I want to turn off breakpoints. Go. A component error has occurred. Stack trace. E slash. This is not a function. Product picker JS 4. So we go to product picker JS, line 4. Great, that's the entire thing. Sure. And this is where one of my favorite tricks is. So what we're going to do is go into setup. And in setup, we're going to turn on debug mode. And debug mode makes all of your error messages for Lightning Web Components human readable. It's great for development, but you shouldn't turn it on in production. It's slow. You'll also start seeing these green and red boxes that show up here showing us how long the page took to load. So I'm going to reload this. You see now we've got this right up here. Thank you. And I'm going to clear my cache. And we're going to reload again. Debugging for the win. Invalid template iteration for value object in product picker 124. Must be an array-like object or not null or undefined. Great. So now, since we've turned debug mode on, we can go into our product picker and you'll start to see this looks a whole lot more like what we wrote. Well, let's go down here to product picker 124. That's not the right thing. We don't have a product picker on line 124. There's only 60 lines here. Awesome. Let's look at the stack trace. Prod debug 57, 10, product picker line 14. That we have. So we got a product, okay. All right. So it's not liking our iteration. So let's do this. So we're going to go in here and we're going to put a breakpoint on that one because I want to see what component products is. So we'll close this, reload. While that's reloading, I'm going to get a sip of water here. Okay, here we go. What I want to do here is now that I'm in this debugger and I've stopped on this line, line 14, I should have dot products. And this is undefined, which is exciting. Now let's go over here to our developer console. And you can see that we've got logs going in. And if I open up this one, product picker get products. Okay, so this is the right one. And we can see that row 0. Okay, so the issue is our query is not returning anything. Let's look at our query again. We are doing is active. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this query. We'll go back over to our dev console query editor. And I'm just going to take this out. Boom. And we'll execute this. Nothing. Okay, I bet you that's because they're not showing up as active. So let's do another query. Let's do select ID name is active from price book entry. Okay, so these are active, and we've got price book entry records, so that's not what's causing it. Where is active is true, and product2.name is not null. So where product2.name is okay, so that's what I expect. And product2 is active. Okay. And product2.is active equals true. If this gets rid of it, then the problem is select, come on, name from product2. Select name is active. False. True. Save rows. All right, now let's go back to our big query here. Where was it? Is this one? Let's refresh the grid. All right, now we're seeing some things. All right, so let's try this back once more with emphasis. Boom. Sure. Okay, we're going to reload this. Sadness. Okay, so let's turn back on those breakpoints. I don't need that one. Don't really need that one. Let's try that again. While we're doing this, let's also look at our debug log in the dev console. And this is going to give us, this one here should show rows being rows 2. So that looks good. Feel like that's what we were looking for. So we got rows coming in. Starting to be more stumped than Paul Bunyan's local forest. Huh. Alright, we got an error over here. Yes. Okay. Why did we not pause? Let's do this. Undefined. Alright, let's do this. So in our product picker, we were currently making just wiring this to products, and that's obviously causing us an issue. So let's do it this long way, where we go into a function, and I'm just jumping over my other Lightning Web component. We're going to do this. We're going to do products, and then we will wire it up. So we're going to do get products, and we don't have any input on this one. And this is going to be our product function, and we'll do is we'll say this dot products is equal to data. This error is undefined, so error, and then this description I'm going to get rid of, and then else if error. Okay, so that seems reasonable. Let's save this, and the reason we're doing this is now I can stop inside my wire function rather than just trying to get it to give me a nice breakpoint spot elsewhere. So that component bundle was saved, so we're gonna go over here. Now I've noticed that I sometimes have to restart the inspector, so I'm going to close that and I will reload, and then what I will do is wait, I didn't get an error. Interesting. Okay. Let's try that again. We'll look at our sources tab again. product picker. Close this. I'm going to clear my cache because the inspector is not behaving like I expect it to. So let me reload this, having cleared the cache. The inspector is really quite useful, especially for debugging JavaScript component errors. But I'm not entirely certain why it's sort of caching this version of the module for product picker. Let's close that. We'll close this. And okay, so here, this is our product function. It should be called. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to go in here, and put my breakpoints on those two lines inside that function. And now, whenever I reload this, it should actually stop inside my function that I created. Okay, so I have data here. And if I were to go down to the console, I can say data. And it'll show me that it's an array of 2 objects, which is good. And here's my name, mascot stickers. This is exactly what I expect. So this is working now as expected. Now, I'm not sure why I couldn't get it to work with just the regular @wire. But you'll notice that this is still not showing anything. And the reason that is because in my product picker HTML, it's product.product2.name. And is it underscore or lowercase? Let's look. Let's go back up to where we had. So this is our row, our product row. And we're going to have product2 with a capital P and then name. So let's go back over here, make this product. There we go. We have 3 minutes left. We're not going to get to the button that adds this to the opportunity. Okay. But we'll have started. Bust out of that. All right, there we go. So here are our 2 products that show up. Yay. I'm liking this so far. Now, if we were to come over here and we were to go to our product picker and we were to do a button. So if we do button, and I forget, let's look at our recipe, formatted recipe display, because it has buttons. And I forget the actual bit for that. So let's button. Maybe it doesn't have buttons. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll look at our Salesforce component reference, and we'll go to button, basic button. All we got to do here is, oh, it's lightning button. That's right. Okay, copy pasta. Put this here. We'll do a title of add to opportunity. Click is going to be handle add to op clip, and there we go. So we got to create this method, save this lightning button inside of an iterator. Okay. Okay. And then we need to create this method. So in our product picker, what we can do is we can say handle event. Okay, here's our method. And now what we need to do is look at our opportunity ID. So let's do console.log this.record ID. And when we do that, what do we, in our HTML, on click, we need to set the product ID, which is going to be our price book entry ID. So when we come back here, what we can do is do console.log event. Do this. I'm pretty sure it's event.target, but we'll get the whole object in there. And it is 2 o'clock. So I want to thank everyone for joining me today. As I look at the chat, I've got a bunch of chat messages. Thank you, Shrivansh and Afros and Hector and Amber and Kushagra. I'm terrible with names. I'm sorry. I often mispronounce my dog's name even. Often calling my daughters by my dog's name, and vice versa. So with that, I think I've scored 1 whole M&M this entire hour, and we've started on our product picker, but we have not finished it. So you'll have to tune in next week, same bat time, same bat channel. That's 1 p.m. Eastern and 10 a.m. Pacific every week. All right, and I'll see you again.